everybody. This is Big Stack Numismatics. It is Saturday, January 15th. It's a very frigid but sunny winter day, and I'm so happy that you are joining us. Special welcome to all our fellow coin collectors out there. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention that I have a goal of trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as fast as I can. So if you are not subscribed and you're watching this video, I would ask that you please consider subscribing. I appreciate that. We have another early American commemorative coin to profile here on the Big Stack Numismatics channel, and this is the first one that the United States has ever made. This is the Columbian Exposition 1892 release, commemorating the 400th anniversary of the sale of Columbus. Here's some of the specs here. 1892. This is a MS65 example as graded by PCGS and verified by CAC. Very cool. And this is a really beautiful toned example. Apologies for the light getting in the way there. Let's see if I can give you a couple different angles. Beautiful toning, greenish blues hues in there. I'm not sure if that's coming through or not. Let's take a look at the reverse here. I believe that's the Santa Maria, Columbus's lead ship. And as I mentioned, this was minted for sale at the Columbian Exposition in 1892 in Chicago. Interesting stuff about that. This particular coin was authorized by Congress. They minted 5 million examples, 950,000 in 1892, and continued production, the remaining 4 million plus in 1893. And what's interesting about this is that the Exposition themselves thought that they could mint these for 50 cents a piece and then sell them for $1 a piece and use the profits to pay for the Exposition for a lot of the events and things like that. The problem is that I believe only 300,000 or so were purchased at the Exposition. And maybe I'm even wrong by that. I mean, maybe that includes the people that did the mail order and all that stuff, but it was far less than the 5 million that they had hoped for. And so over 2.5 million were eventually returned to the mint and then melted down. So the final mint numbers for 1892 is the 950,000, and I think it's about 1.5 million for 1893. And another interesting fact about the 1893s is that the ones that were not brought back to the mint and then melted, a lot of the Exposition themselves took a large number of them and used them as collateral in a bank towards taking loans for other parts of the exhibition. They did not repay those loans, and then the remaining 1893 half dollars were dumped into circulation by the bank. So there you go. It's really beautiful coin. This specific example is just gorgeous to the naked eye. A lot of mint luster. It's been noted that one reason for the lack of the sales and for the poor condition of the many surviving specimens was that while the fair was open, the economic panic of 1893 started. It was one of the worst depressions in the nation's history until that point. 50 cents made the difference between a family eating or starving at a time when the average visitor to the fair spent a total of $1.18. So a lot of people were not too thrilled about the idea of buying money for twice as much, you know what I mean? So it's like if the total amount they spent, and that's on food and everything else, was $1.18 on the average, many people just walked right on by. So, but very, very cool, because this kicked off a whole series of commemorative coins. Let's take a quick look at the PCGS certificate verification page. You'll see that based on this has a current retail value of $350 for a specimen in MS65, with a population hire of 456. And if I click on the price guide value, it takes me to a price history page. And this for in the 70s, and it was probably about 25 or 30 bucks all the way up until about 1980. Climbed up to as high as $6,000 in the late 80s. Crashed back down in 95 to around $750. And its current value, again retail, is $350. I picked this one up for $200 in the 280s. And I thought that was an excellent price, especially for the eye appeal of this specific coin and the fact that it's CAC stickered as well. So, yeah, so this is the first one. In addition, this is the first American coin that features a historical figure. Okay, up till this point, it had always been like, you know, Lady Liberty, or one of the, you know, Roman gods or something like that, Mercury. That came later, actually. but yeah, the first historical figure. And this was, of course, immediately followed by Queen Isabella, because at the same fair, the women's leagues, and I put this out in our previous video, they premiered their souvenir quarter, which was the Queen Isabella $quarter. And so, yeah, let me see here. Now, if I go back, I have this handy-dandy checklist here. I'll just kind of let you take a look at kind of where we're at. Try to get that in frame here. So, up till now, I had 10 of these, and got to get a chance to mark one of these off. So let's go ahead and there we go. That always feels good to update the checklist here. So now if we look here, we have the 1892 Columbian Exposition. We have the 1893 Queen Isabella. We also have the 1900 Lafayette dollar. So look, if we're going for early ones, next up is going to be some gold. We have a Louisiana Purchase, either the Jefferson or the McKinley version from 1903. So there we are. Always fun to update that checklist. So, all right, one final look. See if I can get a different angle to get some of that toning there. You can see some of those, yeah, greenish, bluish, and luster under all of it. Beautiful coin. I do like collecting these early American commemoratives, and I'll tell you what, they're addicting. To have a checklist like this, I've mentioned this before. You know, I have another channel where I display pickups for stacking and things like that. And I remember back when I was first picking up, trying to fill tubes of silver American Eagles, and at the time I could only afford a few at a time, and so I would, you know, try to fill up a tube. And when you finally got to fill up that tube, it was such a thrill to be able to, hey, I completed my goal, right? Well, this is quite the goal, trying to collect a nice example of all of these, especially with some of the rarities of these. It's going to be really hard to get a nice Hawaiian for any kind of decent price. And then, of course, the Panama Pacific coins will be really challenging to find as well. But that's part of the thrill of the chase, I guess, is trying to find those examples. But that's what I have for you today. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And again, if you've not subscribed, I really highly encourage you and ask you to consider doing that as well. So that's all I have for you. This is Big Stack Numismatics. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great rest of your day.